Imagine the scene. You come home after an exhaustive day in the bank, dealing with annoyed customers and a boss who doesn't miss a chance to criticize. The only wish is a little peace, a hot bath and the comfort of preparing dinner while the problems of the day dissolve into the aroma of the food. But reality, as always, has other plans. It was another common night in the apartment of Dana and Oleg. He, sunk on the couch, his eyes stuck to the cell phone screen, letting out exclamations of despair with each new account that appeared. She, still with the tiredness of the work on her face, was trying to focus on cutting the vegetables while her mother-in-law, Eugenia Dmitrievna, took up space as if she was the owner of the house. "Honey, don't you mind if I stay a little?" asked the woman, already settling in the armchair with the naturalness of those who are not in a hurry to leave. Dana just nodded, swallowing the desire to say that, yes, she cared, and a lot. While the pan squeaking on the stove and the smell of onions sautéing the kitchen, Eugenia kept talking. The neighbors, inflation, the ingratitude of young people, everything was reason for another endless monologue. Oleg, when not completely ignored, was limited to grunts of agreement, without taking his eyes off the phone. "Do you know Olga Ryjenkova?" Again appearing with new skin, as if money grew on a tree, the mother-in-law disseminated, while Dania, ironically remembered the expensive coat she had bought for her on her birthday, a gift that was received with a grimace of disdain for being very modern. "Oleg, son, couldn't you help your mother instead of staying there?" Eugenia, with that sweet tone that hid an order. "Mom, I'm resting," he grunted without moving. Dana took a deep breath, trying to focus on the chicken that fried in the frying pan. The noise of hot oil was almost therapeutic, a refuge against chaos around. For a moment she even managed to relax. Until, when it was almost all ready, he decided to take the phone in his bag to check a message. It was then that he noticed, something was wrong. The nécessaire was out of place, the open wallet, the messy documents. And the worst, the bank card, which was always in the side compartment, was gone. "Eugenia Dmitrievna," he called, trying to keep calm, "didn't you see my card by chance?" The mother-in-law lifted her eyes with an expression of offended innocence. "What card, my daughter?" "The bank. He is always here, and now he is not." Oleg, finally awakened from lethargy, suggested, "You may have forgotten at work." "No, I remember right to have saved after lunch," Dana countered, turning her bag for the second time, checking the jacket pockets, looking under the table. Nothing. The heart began to accelerate. With trembling hands, he opened the bank's application. What saw his blood gulp Ted, a transfer of 2 million hryaris, made half an hour earlier to such Igor Pavlenko. "Who is Igor Pavlenko?" he asked, showing the screen to Oleg. His face paled. "It's my cousin." "Why?" "Because someone has just sent 2 million of our money to him." The silence that followed was sharp. Eugenia, however, seemed strangely serene. Too serene. "Son, do you know something?" Oleg, the tense voice. The mother-in-law sighed, making a grimace of suffering. "Ah, you already suspect me? Well, if you insist." "Yes, I helped Igorzinho. He's in trouble, with debts that no longer end. Creditors threatened to take his apartment." Dana felt the floor disappear. "Helped? This is theft. It's our economies. Don't scream like this, girl," scolded Eugenia, shaking her head. "Family helps itself. Igor is Oleg's cousin, so it is his own parenting too." "What family? I don't even know this man." "He knows or not, he is blood of our blood. And blood is not abandoned in difficulty." Oleg looked from one to another, Erdido, as if trying to calculate which side to choose. His indecision only increased the fury of Dana. "Oleg, will you be silent or do something? Your mother stole us." "Stealing is ugly, honey. I only borrowed for a familiar need," corrected Eugenia, impassive. "And money is not everything in life." "Isn't it all?" Dana felt her voice fail. "That was the entrance of our house. 3 years saving every penny, living on the edge, abdicating on vacation, outputs, everything. And now? You are young, healthy. They work and gather again," said the mother-in-law, as if it were the simplest thing in the world. "And Igor? It's 35, it's an adult. May you turn with your own debts. Dana, don't talk like that. He's going through a difficult divorce, has lost half of the goods, is sunk. And I have to pay for it. Why do I? Eugenia raised her voice. Why are you part of this family? Or do you think being married just having rights and no duty? Dane turned to Oleg, hopeful. Are you going to leave this? He shifted, uncomfortable. Give. The mother did with good intention. Maybe it's not worth so much stress. Good intention? Dana didn't believe what she heard. She punctured my bag and stole our money. This is a crime. Crime between relatives. Please, we are a family, laughed Eugenia. And money you won't see. Igor has already settled the debts. It was the drop of water. Dana felt her body tremble with anger. Years of sacrifice, sleepless nights, the dream of home ownership all destroyed by a selfish gesture, disguised as family help. While preparing dinner, his mother-in-law had rolled her belongings and, without the slightest remorse, misses their account. Family helps himself, the woman justified, as if 2 words could erase what she had done. Dana looked into Eugenia's eyes and, for the first time, did not hold back the fury. With all the strength he had, he slapped his mother-in-law. The sound echoed through the room like a shot. Are you crazy? Shouted Oleg, getting up from a jump. No, she answered, the sharp voice. I'm doing what you should have done for a long time. Eugenia Dmitrievna backed down, holding her burning face as Dana raised her hand again. Oleg, your wife is hitting me. Are you seeing this? He stammered his mother-in-law, his eyes full of fake tears. You'll still see much more if the money doesn't come back, Dana promised, with a calm that froze the blood. And that's just the beginning. With a sudden movement, she snatched her mother-in-law's bag and threw all the content on the floor. Between cheap makeup, crumpled scarves and a fake silver rosary, something shone, his card, the same as it was gone days before. Here it is. My savings. My life, he said, holding the plastic between his fingers like proof of a crime. Oleg tried to put himself between them, hands extended in a pathetic gesture of peace. Enough, give it. Stop it. I stopped when she returns every penny, Dana cut, stirring the card in the air. 2 million rubles. 3 years of sacrifice. 3 years eating crumbs to have a ceiling of ours. And you. They stole like rats and still have the face of crying stick. Eugenia Dmitrievna sobbed, shrinking against the wall. Oleg, defend your mother. This woman is crazy. Crazy. Dana advanced, grabbing her mother-in-law's shoulders with a force that made her shudder. I will show what is crazy. He shook her like a rag doll. Where is the money? How will we recover it? Let me go. Help. He whimped the old woman, the little fingers in the sleeves of the blouse. Oleg tried to intervene, but Dana pushed him with dry movement. He stumbled on the carpet and fell back on the stunned couch. Call your dear Igorzinho, she ordered, without taking her eyes off her mother-in-law. May he return every kopeck now. He can't. There are debts. He moaned Eugenia. And we don't have it. Dana released the woman with a push. 3 years living in a hole, counting coins for the bus, while you banquet have. With our sweat. She ran her hands through her hair, as if trying to tear anger at the root. What to do? Calling the police. But proving the theft would be difficult. The card was not blocked. Someone could have seen PIN. Suddenly, his eyes shone. He took his cell phone and started dialing. Who are you calling? Asked Oleg, the trembling voice. Pro Igor. Your little brother of gold. On the other side, after a few touches, a hoarse voice answered. Hello? Dane. What is it? Igor, it's me. Your brother's wife. What you stole. Calm down, Dana, 2 million. Today. Or we do it the easy way, or the hard way. Silence. Do you hear me, your vermin? Listen, I understand you're upset, but I'm screwed. Creditors will kill me. Dana laughed, a sharp sound and no joy. And I don't. 3 years saving on everything, working to faint, and do you think you can steal me and go unpunished? Dane, be reasonable. She shouted so loudly that Oleg shuddered. I was reasonable. While you acted like parasites. He turned off violently and turned to his mother-in-law, his lips bent in a smile that was not coming to the eyes. Tomorrow morning, the money has to be in the account. Or the police, the judge, and everyone will know how the Dmitriev family treats those who trust them. Eugenia tried to straighten himself, pretending dignity. I didn't steal anything. I borrowed from a parent. Borrow? Dane mocked. Great. So show me Raspiska, with interest, deadline, and signature. Or is it a lie, like everything that comes out of your mouth? But we are family. Family does not steal. Family does not destroy dreams. Oleg tried again. Darren, maybe we can shut up, she growled, without looking at him. You already chose your side when it was quiet as she cheated on me. He turned to the mother-in-law. You have an apartment, don't you? I have, but tomorrow, you mortgage you or sell it. Either I will rent your room for 3,000 rubles a month communals on your own and put an announcement. We are looking for an elderly tenant, difficult temperament, historical theft. Oleg paled. You wouldn't do that. No. Dane typed on her cell phone, her fingers flying. I'm already posting. Avito, Kian, Eula. Stop. He pleaded, extending his hand. Glupeza went to trust you. Glupeza went to think you were a man. She stared at him with a disdain that hurt more than any slap. Another step and I publish another ad, looking for a weak man's job, specializing in protecting thieves. Experience in betrayal differential. Asterisk. He arrives. Oleg exploded, finally. You lost your head. I lost when I married you. Dana took the bag and walked to the door. Tomorrow, the money has to be in the account. Or your life will become a hell, and I guarantee that I will make every minute worth it. The stop echoed as a verdict. They did not return the money. Dana was not surprised. He had never expected a miracle. But I had a plan. First, he went to the police station. He denounced the theft, even though he knew that proving would be difficult. It didn't matter. I wanted Eugenia to her own, explaining how her card pin had. Then he filed a lawsuit, requiring repair. The mother-in-law's apartment was worth $500,000, it would be to block as a guarantee. Then he flooded social networks. Detailed posts, with full names, addresses, phone numbers. Meet Eugenia Dmitrievna and Igor Dmitriev, the family that steals their own children. In a few hours, the comments multiplied. Neighbors, colleagues from Oleg, friends of the church, everyone knew. Eugenia's phone kept ringing, full of outraged people. Oleg called every hour, begging him to come back, to solve in family. Dana always answered the same, return the money. Then we talk. On the third day, Igor finally gave way. Dana, let's meet. They met in a cheap coffee near the building. He is. I was cluttered, the deep dark circles. Look, I know I did shit, he started, but she cut. Money. Now. I don't have it. I played everything on the creditors. Then take it back. Are you crazy? These guys are serious and I'm not. She turned the phone screen to him. It was his profile at VK, with a cool post, Igor Dmitriev, 35 years old. Specialty, stealing his own family. Accepts bribes and bribes. References, mother-in-law and brother, accomplices. Take it out. He hissed, the sweat dripping by the forehead. Return the money and I delete. Where do I take 2 million? Lend. Sell. Step again, I don't care. But today. He tried to argue, but Dana was already getting up. A week. Then I personally go to your boss with the extracts of the transfers. I want to see his face when I find he employs a thief. A week later, 1 million fell into the account. Igor mortgaged the car and borrowed from friends. The rest, he promised, would come in a month with one condition, a notarial raspiska and the deed of Eugenia's house as a guarantee. The old woman resisted, until she found out that the police would go to her. The scandal in the neighborhood would be unbearable. The second million arrived in 6 weeks. Igor sold dacha, requested more loans, sank in debt. But Dana didn't care. She had her money back. And for the first time in years, they owed her. Igor sank into loans, signing contracts with abusive interest that would swallow him alive. Meanwhile, Oleg tried, in vain, to sew the ragged relationship between his wife and mother. Dane didn't give in. Either she, or me. Choose. The choice was made, and the price, paid in a blame currency. The house was bought, but the home, destroyed. Oleg became a shadow of what it was, silent, bitter, carrying the weight of a betrayal that would never forgive himself. Eugenia Dmitrievna stopped crossing their door. When he called, it was just to moan about the health that deteriorated and the loneliness that consumed it. But Dane was relentless. That woman doesn't put her feet here. A year later, Oleg couldn't stand it anymore. The divorce was a mutual relief. She knew the family had been dead for a long time. Justice gave you the house. After all, every penny had been sweaty by his hands. Oleg returned to his mother's arms, which celebrated the victory briefly. The son dived into the bottle, lost his job, and the money for money with Eugenia became routine. Igor, in turn, broke for good. He sold what was left, moving to a cubicle in the ends of the city after losing to his job. Creditors hunted him like vultures, ensuring that he would not stop anywhere. Meanwhile, Dana ascended. One promotion, then another. The direction admired its steel determination, its ability to crush obstacles without blinking. In 3 years, she was the right-hand man of the regional director. Personal life, however, was slow to adjust. Men retreated before his reputation, a woman who was not tolerated betrayal, who didn't double the spine by anyone. Until Maxim appeared, a lawyer who, instead of being intimidated, admired his strength. The marriage was discreet, just for the nearest. Oleg didn't attend. They said he drowned his sorrows in alcohol, after Eugenia sold the apartment and moved to an asylum, knocking down the last mainstay of his dignity. Maxim was the opposite of the first husband, independent, intact, willing to shield the family against any threat. 5 years after the divorce, the phone rang. On the other side, Eugenia's shaky voice, "I have no money for the medicines." Oleg disappeared, "Doesn't answer my calls." "You couldn't, after all, I'm your parenting." Dana heard in silence. "You're right," he replied, paused. "Family must help yourself." I remember these words well. A sigh. "Here is my advice, look for social assistance. They help elderly to get discounts on medicines. But I need concrete help. And I give you a help. TA, and for free, the information you need. Goodbye." He hung up the phone and smiled. Justice is not fast, but it is inexorable. Each one reaped what he planted, she, the peace and the happiness he deserved, they, the weight of their own choices. Maxim, who had heard everything, wrapped his arm over his shoulders. "Don't you feel remorse?" "Remorse?" Dana shook her head. "I just feel one thing, I took so long to learn. Pity with predators only feeds its prey." That night, sitting on the apartment porch, that apartment, whereby she had fought with tooth and nail, heard the stuffy laugh of little Anna, 1 year old, sleeping in the room. Life, yes, had settled. But the lesson had been fire to fire, trust, but check. And never allow anyone to settle on your back like a parasite.